Yo guys, what's going on? Robert Warshack here. We're going to be going over the best decks post-patch. We just had a massive buffs and nerfs hit Hearthstone. Just finished streaming for like 20 hours, so we got a good grasp of the meta. We played a ton of different decks, and also if you're watching this anywhere by the time it releases, I'll probably already be streaming again. So if you like tuning into the stream and watching some cool new decks, you can do that. Probably playing some of these just so I can make videos on them. First deck we're going to cover is going to be the Dollhouse Druid, which is basically just formatted Owlness Druid, which is an OTK deck that we saw a ton of in the previous expansion and meta. The reason that this is popped back up is the Living Legend. Even with him getting nerfed to 9 mana, it doesn't really matter with an OTK deck. It slows it down by a turn or two, but it still can do like hundreds of damage if you have everything you need. But normally you don't need hundreds of damage, but generally you can if you needed it. It runs the Dussy and the Elise, which means you're able to draw through your deck, get armor, and have basically a full hand. The Elise allows you to copy your owl. It goes down to 5 mana. You play it, the Elise location will copy it. You have 2 owls, and then from there you can play like the Sparkling Vial with your locations. You juice up the spell power. Each one is doubled because your spell damage is +1, and then your spells double bonus from the spell damage, which means every 1 is 2, and if you have 2 of them out, it's 4. So as you can see, you can do a lot of damage with Vial. Swipe, you can use the Vial to discount your Sleep Under the Stars to get back a bunch of mana for basically free, because the Vial discounts the next card that you play. So there's a ton of different win cons in this deck. Sometimes you could strictly just win with like the Ceaseless and the Ziliax, because if you get Loa out, you can play a Ceaseless in the same turn you play it. We saw a ton of this deck running like Carrier and stuff last week, so all they've done is just moved the win condition from Carriers and stuff to basically OTK with a little bit more survivability. Not the most exciting deck to play against, but playing it, if you like OTK decks, it'll feel pretty interesting and fun. Another OTK deck that has popped up that utilizes one new card is the Cursed Catacombs. Cursed Catacombs, in tandem with the Puppet Master, allows you to pull the minions from your deck, because this guarantees discover a minion. When you draw a minion with Dorian, he makes a 1/1 copy of it. So ideally you're going for Armageddon, and then with Armageddon you get a 1 mana, and then you play that, and then you play the 10 mana Armageddon, and then you follow that up with like Ysera or Freyak or Dussy or Kerrigan or Bob to get mana back to then draw more cards. And this allows you to basically do like anywhere between 12 to 25 damage in one turn, not counting Dussy or Freyak or hero powers from Kerrigan. So generally you're just like blowing out your opponent on turn like 6 with a giant board of stats and doing like 20 plus damage. Generally people can't come back from that, or you just kill them on the spot. So I tried playing this deck yesterday. I drew the Armageddon in my opening hand pretty much every game. I know some lists run the over planner. A lot of people like, can play that. Pulled this list as it, again, this is not my list. I just pulled this from the highest win rate that people were having, and it does not run over planner. However, if you want that card in your deck, you can put it in there. But yeah, this deck is gaining a lot of popularity, and again, just the ability, it's like the old Barnes deck. You draw Barnes, you play Barnes, you hit Rage, you win game. Some of my least favorite decks to be popular right now. Have you come, duders, to remind the viewers that they all need to sub and leave comments and like? Yes, you're looking very dapper, bud. Thank you for reminding them. They're a good boy. Even though Quest Paladin did get nerfed, they touched on the Brain Gill, and they also touched on the Hot Spring Glider. They did not change Tyrannigill, which in my opinion needed to go to 7 mana, and they did not change the quest into play 5 Murlocs or change it to summon 6 before you can complete your reward, which means Murloc Paladin is still a fantastic deck for you if you're on a budget, you're new to the game, you don't want to think, you want to turn off your brain and play green cards that go McGurgle. This is still a very viable option. A ton of people came in yesterday to the stream, and I'm sure more will come in today to ask if Murloc Paladin is still good. You can play the deck, and you will see that the deck is still good. All you got to do is just play the deck, and you will find out that they did not change that deck enough for it to not be a tier 1 deck. It still goes toe to toe with pretty much everything else if it gets the right draws. Moving on to this new token Beast Hunter. I've seen this a lot on ladder, and if you like your aggressive hunter decks with a mother duck in it, this is for you. So it has a very early game curve. It has the Dreambound Raptor, which is after you play a minion, give it a random bonus effect. So this could be like Wind Fury, Divine Shield, things like that. Very, very good card. It runs 2 of these new Age Ancient Raptors, which then split into 1/1 plants. The Jungle Gym, we haven't seen that in a while. This used to actually have 3 durability, by the way. Very, very good location. If you have a field full of beasts, which you pretty much always will, this is going to do a metric fuck ton of damage. Runs the Paula Spiders, which is very interesting as well. Keeps your hand and board filled with beasts. It runs the Shepherd's Crook, which is a 3 mana 3/2 attack, and then you get a 3/3 sheep that's dormant for 2 turns. You run the Workhorse, which is Ponita, which summons 2 more Ponitas. You run the Mother Duck because she fills the board and they have rush, and then you can buff them with the Supreme Dinomancy, which is give +2/+2 to all beasts in your hand, deck, and battlefield. I think it's very important that we remember battlefield, so like everywhere. Very, very strong. And then of course, because there's only beasts in the deck, you get to run the City Chief, which is battle cry. If every minion in your deck shares a minion type, you give your other minions +2/+2, which is basically just a 6 mana Dinomancy inside of a body that requires you to have all minions of the same type, which of course in a token beast deck, they're all going to be beasts. So very aggressive hunter list here. Should do fairly well against other slower control decks that just don't have this level of AoE. It actually should do pretty good against Murlocs as well, because it has a lot of rush and just a lot of like board presence immediately with a ton of stats. Murlocs grow over time, but you know, they'll outscale you. That hunter deck can just do a ton of damage out of nowhere with stuff like Jungle Gym. Taking a look at another deck that got a massive uptick in play rate, that's going to be the Protoss Priest with this new Resuscitate. This is a 5 mana resurrect, a 1/2 and 3 cost minion to give them reborn. What's important is the 3 cost minion, the 2 cost minion, and the 1 cost minions are very powerful. So the 1 cost minion being Catch of the Day, you get back our 3/3 with rush that can attack and then bring back itself and then attack again. You bring back the Sentry, which ideally was really hard because you wanted to make a bunch of sentries because your Protoss minions cost 1 less for every time this dies. So copying this, a bunch of them dying is good, so you discount your Mothership. However, that card is just going to regenerate 2 for you already. I also run Tyrande in this list. This is my particular priest list that we were playing yesterday. I know there's a bunch of lists out there that don't run her. I like her a lot. Tyrande with Moonwell is deal 8, heal 8. With the Resuscitate, you get 6 minions instead of 3. Massive rushes, huge discounts, very fun. Chrono Boost, you get 2 chargers, which the Chrono Boost, the 3/4 that has charge, is a 3 mana card that actually can get brought back with the 5 mana card as well. The Void Ray is 3 mana. It can be brought back and it has Divine Shield and then Reborn, and it comes back with Divine Shield again, which is really good. You run the Fishing Rods. This is a little weird because we don't run any other 1-drop besides Catch of the Day. If your Sentry dies and discounts it by 1, the trusty Fishing Rod will pull the other Sentry. If both Sentry dies, your Fishing Rod is going to start pulling Void Ray because Void Ray goes down to 1 mana. That to me is insane. It makes having 2 of the Fishing Rods and drawing Fishing Rod probably the most important card in the deck in the early game. Having this card versus not having this card is a big deal. And then I really enjoyed Nightmare Lord Xavius because it helps you find your Tyrandes, your Motherships. It gets you to where you want because you want to be playing this card on turn 5 every game. You want to play your 1-drop, your 2-drop, your 3-drop, and then you want to bring them on back, and then you win the game. If for some reason you're not winning the game, you slap down a giant Mothership, and then you win the game. If you don't win the game after Motherships and hallucinations and all this value, there was a big problem in this game. Maybe you shouldn't have won that game, but generally you'll win that game. So yeah, Mothership, very, very good. Protoss Priest, this was actually a pretty fun deck. I know it's Priest. I know generally we hate Priest, but this was, I enjoyed myself. Protoss Priest was fun. Mothership, getting a bunch of random, Protoss cards and getting them to work, even though they're all super powerful, so getting them to work is super easy, is still really fun. So that covers my top 5. However, there is a dual note of the Quest Warrior that's gaining a lot of steam. A lot of people are playing it. Its win rate has actually gone up quite a bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if you do see quite a bit of Control Quest Warrior on ladder. There's quite a few variations of this deck. I have posted a lot of them over the past couple days. You can go with this version, which again relies on the Turtle and the Ziliax with Chemical Spill in that mid game. It runs double Yor, double Brawl, double Shell NATO, Nightmare Lord to find what you need, Tortolian to pull your taunts so you can Chem Spill them, New Heights of course so you can ramp. We run the double Fortify, the double Shield Block, the double Goggles, the double Shield Slam. Very defensive deck, ton of removals. This is, if you like Control Warrior and Control decks, you'll like this a lot. There is also a Starship version of this deck as well that runs the Starship pieces instead of some of these other things like Martin and the Yours, that has also done fairly well. So I think that's all up to preference. But yeah, those 6 decks with Warrior being the duly noted. Also, if you still happen to be playing your Jug Menagerie deck, that still does very well. Cycle Rogue still does very well. So a lot of the previous decks that didn't really get touched that much, or it got 1 nerf, you can still play them. They will still do very well, but these are the standout ones with new cards in them that are doing very well. We like to play with new cards when a new expansion releases. I know a lot of people like to play with 0 new cards in their deck, but we like to play with new cards because new cards are fun. Am I right? All right. So with that, I'll either catch you guys on stream, you want to hop over there, or I'll catch you guys in the next video. Of course, I'm Robert Warshack, and happy whatever the hell day it is.